What's up, guys? I'm here to talk to you guys about PGF. Okay, PGF is coming to Las Vegas. The draft starts tomorrow. There's 4 coaches. 4 of those coaches will be picking teams of 5 athletes. And then those teams will be battling head to head to basically see who ends up the top 8 guys out of each team. For a choke, you're going to get 6 points. For a arm or a break, which is like an arm bar, heel hook, you're going to get 3 points. And then for a tie, which is a draw, you'll get 0 points. Okay, so basically this is what the roster is looking like. I believe this was the last one that they gave me. First one is PJ Barch, Renato Canuto, Max Hansen, David Asare, Kieran Kutchuk, Ben Eddy, John Combs, Elijah Carlton, Daniel Sattler, Nathan Haddad, Jet Thompson, Jimmy Carnell, AJ Argazarm, Mike John, Cam Hurd, Kewan Gracie, Samson Fombat, Kevin Buring, and David Evers. Pretty stacked bracket overall. The best guy is obviously PJ Barch. I'll start with him and then just kind of go down the line about how I feel about my odds in the bracket and how I feel I match up with a few of these guys. I won't be able to talk about everybody, but we'll go ahead and give just like a small summary of how I'm feeling. Okay, so first match, PJ Barch. PJ Barch, I would like to have on my team. Obviously, that's a guaranteed 20K if me and him are on the same team. I believe he's the best guy in the bracket, most accomplished, very stud, cold. He stays mentally there throughout a match. He's technically sound everywhere, can wrestle. He's always been one of my personal favorite grapplers in the 10 planet system. He was doing it before all of us where they came up. So yeah, I look up to him a lot. If we are on different teams and I have to compete against him, which at some point I believe I will, it's a totally different match than the match we had in ADCC West Coast Trials 2022. I do have a win over him. It was by ref's decision, and it was a good match. I just had a little bit more attacks on him, a little bit more solid positioning over him, and that's what got me the dub. But again, this is a 6-minute match. And I believe it's pretty hard for us to submit each other in 6 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's a totally different look back than it was 2 years ago. He's improved a lot. I've improved a lot, and I believe our skill sets have changed since then. So yeah, you just never know. He's a stud, and if we have to compete against each other again, it'll be a very tough and interesting match for the fans. Next one, Renato Canuto. Renato Canuto is one of my very good friends here in Las Vegas. He was actually responsible for helping me kind of believe in myself and get better as a jiu-jitsu athlete. When I first moved to Vegas, he was like one of my favorite grapplers, and I looked up to him a lot. So I seeked out training from him, and yeah, we spent a lot of time training and hanging out and stuff like that. So it'll be sad if we have to go against each other, but again, a lot of money is on the line, and at the end of the day, we're all athletes, so if we have to compete against each other, the fans are in for a treat. This will be a pretty crazy match. We have similar styles, but kind of not really. He's more of a armbar player, very good passing, outside passing, good transitions, good defense, good scrambles, and I'm more like front headlock, back take kind of guy. Same thing, outside passing, but with also a mix of like MMA style passing. But yeah, so we're both excited. That'll be pretty crazy if we do have to compete against each other. We've rolled against each other many times, so yeah, we kind of know what to expect with that. You guys will be in for a treat if we do have to compete. Max Hansen. Max Hansen is a guy that I just competed against at the West Coast Trials. I beat him in 2 minutes, but that really doesn't mean anything because I believe he's going to come back more hungry this time. And I believe he was a little bit like not ready for that match. We both were kind of fighting for third place at West Coast Trials, and I believe he was just a little more off than I was. I was ready to do anything to win that match and get that get that bronze medal, you know. So I believe I was able to starch him pretty quick, but he'll be ready this time, I think, for the pace and everything else. He's a stud, you know. So I believe he'll change game plans. But yeah, so I got a win over him. And then Davis Asare. Davis Asare is a very good grappler out of New Wave. He's been killing it at the trials and just kind of all over the place, really. He's a good all-around grappler, a good athlete, young guy, hungry. I beat him at one of the ADCC Opens, but again, that was like at the beginning of the year. I believe he'll come back very hungry to get that win back over me. I had his back at the end of the round, and I was choking him and squeezing on his face, and then the time ran out. But yeah, that'll be a very interesting match if we do have to compete against each other again. I know he wants that bad. Benetti is another guy I've competed against. Benetti, I armbar triangled a while back. Again, I've grappled with him a few times. Last time we rolled, I tapped him in like 10 seconds or something like that. I just like blinked to his back, got a rear naked choke. But after that, he was like a pretty tough roll. He was heated. He was ready to go after that. Benetti's a tricky guy. So you never know when you might end up in too crazy of a spider web, and you might have to, you know, fight your way out of there. But yeah, Benetti's interesting. John Combs, damn, I've literally competed against all these first guys. John Combs is a guy I competed against at the West Coast Trials. Obviously, it went viral. I made him throw up, and I don't believe I necessarily made him throw up. I think that he already wanted to throw up pretty bad from his previous match. I believe he did, probably. And then in my match, I'm just kind of like squeezing on his stomach, creating pressure, and I believe that's kind of what just like made it go overboard, and he kind of had to finally actually throw up during a match, which is pretty crazy. I've always thought about it, like, whoa, shit, what if that happens? And it happened to him. But yeah, he'll want that one back. I'm sure he wants to whoop my ass too. He doesn't want to be the guy that I may throw up, so he's probably going to want to have to beat me. Everyone's going to want to whip my ass. Long story short, kind of what it seems like from this list right here. Elijah Carlton is the champ. He's the PGF champ. He's the one that all the white guys are rooting for. You know, the white guys love this cat. He's the typical like hillbilly, fun, trash talking submission guy. He's a pretty interesting guy. He's cool. I believe that he'll try to heel hook and triangle everybody. He's pretty good in his own right, honestly. Like, I don't believe he has horsepower or like a very like skill set to win like ADCC or anything, but I believe he could just catch a lot of guys because he plays that game well. But yeah, he's the champ. Daniel Sattler. Daniel Sattler is a Brazilian from Atos, I believe. That kid's good. I saw him flying triangle. Was it Max Hansen on NWO? That was kind of the first time I saw him, and he made a good impression on me. He looks very exciting. Looks in shape. Looks to push the pace, and he looks like a stud, honestly, overall, to me. But that's pretty much all I know about him. He'll be pretty hungry to take out a lot of big names. Nathan Haddad, I have no clue who that is. He looks familiar, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty good. I mean, if you get into his bracket, you're a pretty good guy. Dude, Jet Thompson, I've heard good things about this kid. He's a young little stud. And you know those young guys are always hungry and willing to go through some fire to try to get a big win so they can get their name out there. So he'll be looking to probably do some damage in here. Jamie Carnell. Jamie Carnell is a guy I've rolled with before. I was able to treat him like my son, but like one of those sons that's like you love, but you just know you have to do dirty anyway, so they learn. But yeah, he's pretty good. He competed against one of my guys at Worlds, I believe, and he beat him. So I was pretty surprised at that because the guy that I coach is pretty fucking good, and I believe he'll be up there one day. And yeah, Jamie handled him pretty crazy, and I was like, whoa. But then I rolled with him, and I was able to dog him, but I don't think training is the same thing as competition. Maybe competition, he turns it on, you know. Some guys are like that. AJ Argazam is a guy that has been around forever, very tough to submit, kind of a brash guy, always known for starting shit with people. I hope he doesn't start shit with me, because I'm kind of the same way, as in I'll retaliate. And yeah, I don't have any problems with AJ. I've never talked to him. I've never really engaged with him in any way. As long as he leaves me alone, I'll leave him alone, and yeah, there'll be peace. Mike John's a 10P guy. Not a lot to say about him. I've trained with him before. Good guy, good guillotines, good heel hooks. He's one of Casey Halstad's guy. Same guy. I'm a black belt under. So yeah, not really much to say about him. Good guy, good competitor, and he'll be here trying to take out some big names, I'm sure. Cam Hurd is a guy I've competed against at a ADCC Open. He's like a wrestler guy. He's pretty cool, very nice. I underconded him at the Open. But he's a good guy. I could tell he's just fucking trying to do his thing. He's trying to grind. He's trying to get in the mix, you know? And I think that's cool to see out of guys who got families and guys who just want it bad, you know? He looks in shape. He's got the tattoos. He's fucking, you know, he's pretty fucking handsome. So, you know, he's looking for his time to shine. Kiwan Gracie, I don't believe he's in there anymore. Samson Fumabat, like a good MMA grappler, good jiu-jitsu guy. I've never really seen him too much. His style, I don't know. Yeah, I've never really seen him. Kevin Beering's a guy that I was kind of high on. He trains at 10 Planet Atlanta, and I'm a fan of that whole crew. I mean, he's 10 Planet, so I'm going to support you if you're 10 Planet and you're doing good out on the scene. But at the same time, I saw him when he was getting ready for trials. Someone asked him who he would like to compete against, and one of the names he brought up was me, and I was like, whoa, me? I thought I was your homie, but obviously there is no homies in jiu-jitsu. So yeah, he called me out. So now I still got love for the 10P Atlanta boys, but now he's a guy that I must decimate at all costs, because he brought my name up, you know. So yeah, I think that's pretty much covers most of the roster, and kind of my thoughts on each guy. Hopefully I got through it pretty quick. I believe I did. But yeah, I think my favorite thing about this competition is that we're gonna see I'm gonna see how I do over a period of time. It's like a week, 3 matches a day of grappling. There's a lot of variables that go into competing over days like that, whether it's how you're feeling about sickness or injury, or mentally, maybe you lost a couple matches and you got to come back, or maybe you had a really good hot day and then the next day you get your ass whooped, and now all of a sudden you're on a downward spiral. And there's a lot of X factors in a tournament like this. So that's kind of what I'm mainly trying to see, is how I get through the ringer. For me, grappling's always been like grappling and fighting has always been a thing of like, okay, I want to test myself, I want to challenge myself, and I want to see what type of man I am after. And win or lose, I always feel like I'm a better person, and I discover a lot about myself. And competing has really done a lot for me over my lifetime, as far as that aspect goes. So yeah, this is just another challenge. I want to see really like how I deal with all this different type of pressures, and then kind of like media obligations, and you know, cameras being everywhere, and I'm sure there's going to be people trying to stir pots in different types of ways. And I just want to remain calm and cool and make sure that I am able to handle my business, get out here healthily, happy, and then with a pocket full of cash. I think that's the main thing, is like, obviously money's on the line. It's a big pot, but you're not going to get the money unless you win. So it's a big thing to stay in the game this whole time. So I'm interested to see just overall how it plays out. PGF did a great job of bringing this group together of guys that I don't know, you kind of don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to get injured, and you don't know who's going to feel good the entire week, and you just don't know. So that's kind of the funnest part about it. But yeah, this is a small preview into PGF World. There's a lot of huge sponsors. Once Upon a Coconut, Monster Energy, there's First Form, there's Caffeine, Stream Service. There's like a bunch of big sponsors that played a role into making this happen. Zoltan, who's like a Five Finger Death Punch guitar player, who's also a big part of this now, kind of help Brandon bring this new version of PGF together. I'm very excited to see what happens this season. This is season 6 on UFC Fight Pass and YouTube. It's a pretty big week for grappling. If you have time during the week, or you have time during the weekend, make sure you guys tune in as much as possible. It's a pretty big deal and a pretty big leap forward into jiu-jitsu, giving guys like up-and-comers and high-level guys opportunity to make money depending on how it goes. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for this quick little preview before the draft tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Brandon. Thank you, PGF. Thank you, Level Black, for always keeping me geared up. Just thank you to everyone who's making this happen. This is a big deal. I'm excited to try to walk out with a pocket full of cash, and hopefully some crazy highlights, because at the end of the day, this is what I do this for. I want to not only test myself, but I want to make sure that I absolutely destroy everybody on the mats. And you know, I'm either gonna destroy someone or get destroyed, and that's my style. And people want to see that. They either want to see me win and get my hand raised, or lose and get my head chopped off. And that's the way it goes when you're an athlete. People love you and people hate you, and you just don't know. Okay, bye.